Tomer Devorah. I spent a couple of days on Achila, and the bracha of Achila, a couple of weeks actually. And now we're moving on to the next Madrega, closing in at the end of the Sefer. So we're in Parak Asiri, a couple of paragraphs before the end of the Sefer. In a way, these last few paragraphs are really our derech in becoming tzadikim. Tzadik is not one who's up there. It's tzadik yisoid. Tzadik knows how to be a tzadik and bring the Shechina into this world. That's the taich of a tzadik. Tzadik yisoid. Midas ha-yisoid. Oilam into the world. Which, if you do that, it's chesed Gevurah, and that's not choid yisoid, malchus. Then we have the malchus, which is the goal of the whole, not just the whole Sefer Tomer Devorah, but the whole Bria. The goal is malchus. And we started off by Chatzos Halayla, and we learned about David HaMelech and his kinar, and Chatzos Halayla and L'hoidos L'cha, and we got to coming to the Matoivu Allah Yaakov, just reminding you, and the Indian of Shachris, and then the Indian of Liman HaTorah, and Hillel, take care of his goof, eating a Suda. And now we're up to V'achar Sha'ala L'shas HaMincha V'nikshar B'Gevurah. And now we have moved up to Mincha time. Mincha time means that from 6.5 hours on is the Zman Mincha. Meaning the sun is rising. That represents chesed. Getting brighter and brighter and lighter and lighter. Espashtus, you see more clarity. 12 o'clock is not Zman Mincha. I'm talking about in Shazmanius. Chatzos is not Zman Mincha. That's the time of the best clarity. So Mincha means when the sun starts to set. So the Zman Mincha, the Gemara, the beginning of Avodah Zarah tells us that Adam Arishan, after the Chet, came time, he saw the sun starting to set, he was sure the world was coming to an end. So it's not because he was a caveman, and he thought the world was coming to an end. It's because the sun is setting, he realized this is a Zman of Din. This is a Zman of Gevurah. So here we are at Sheish Shois V'Mechse, 12:30, and the sun begins to set. There's an omek here to this time, but it's the Zman of Gevurah. It's the Zman of Yitzchak. Avram, Yogel, Yitzchak, Yirane, Yaakov Avanav, Yenuchabay. My time. But it's a time of Yitzchak. Yitzchak, Tikein, Tfilas, Mincha. So,
Pasada.
Yitzchak was, don't jump, stick with me. So Yitzchak was a time of Mincha. Yitzchak invented Mincha, not really, because he brought the first Mincha. Cain. Yeah. Cain brought a carbon Mincha. He brought from his wheat and his barley, he brought Mincha LaHashem. Hevel looked at it and he said, this looks like a good idea. Hevel gam hu minchasai lifnei Hashem, vayisha Hashem el minchasai. And the rest is history. But here was a competition, if you will, in the world of Mincha, the time of Mincha. So that's the Mincha. You have later on that Yaakov met Esav, and when Yaakov met Esav, he says, brought him a gift, and he said, Mincha hi shlucha adoni le'Esav. Here's a mincha for you. Translation, a gift. It's a gift. Mincha means a gift, as Rashi says. It's an interesting kind of the choice of giving him a mincha, and give him a chatos, was up Seder Menachas over here, is coming into this. So just first, before we understand it, the kesher between the Mincha of Cain and Hevel and the Mincha, why was it even called the Mincha of Yaakov and Esav, and our Korban Mincha. So Achar Shalol L'Shas HaMincha Nikshar B'Gevurah. You're Nikshar B'Gevurah. When you get to the sun the sun is going down, we're in Gevurah time. We've entered into Yitzchak mode. Pachad Yitzchak. And Himtin La'erev, and you have this time of Mincha until it comes to Erev. V'yarad Tiferes El HaMalchus, and what the Mincha is doing, I'm going to explain, but just get the math, the program here. The program is that the time of Mincha is the time where you can bring above Tiferes down into Malchus. Remember that there's the spine of the spheros. Chesed Gevurah is the two zroyas. But you have the Keser, like the Rosh. And then we learned about this. And then you have Tiferes. Then you have Yisoid, and you have Malchus. So when you come straight down the middle, with the Netzach and the Hoid and the Chesed and the Gevurah on the sides, so you have your Mevi, Himtin Laher V'Yarad HaTiferes El HaMalchus. What happened to Yisoid? Yisoid is the key, the transformer, mentioned many times, which is taking Ruchnius and turning it into Gashmius. I don't want to become too highfalutin here because this is really clear. What it really means is that our tachlis here in the world, and Mincha is the time, is to bring the Shekhinah into this world. That's what we've been learning every time you make a bracha. You're bringing the Shekhinah into the world. Malchus is the Shekhinah that permeates the world. Malchus is Melech HaMashiach. What we want with Mashiach is the bracha of the Shekhinah coming into this world. There's prerequisites in order for the earth to be able to be makabel the rain and to be able to v'yatzmach perkonei v'karev Mashiach. V'yatzmach perkonei v'karev Mashiach. In order for that to work, the earth has to be properly worked and everything has to come down at the same time. Properly worked means if there's no shalom, so then the earth is not ready to be makabel the rain. In the meantime, we're waiting for Mashiach, we're waiting for the rain, but waiting is silly. The idea is to try to bring the Shekhinah, try to create, or it's really a two-tier program that we have to be working on in 2016. And that is that we're preparing the earth for the Malchus. That's where we're holding. And we're bringing all the spheros, everything that's in Shemayim, everything that's a Shekhinah, into this world. Then there's peace. And then you can go, I was declaring, by the way, just like there's an issur to go out of Eretz Yisrael into Chutz La'aretz. So this bothers me, not because I like going to Chutz La'aretz, I hate going to Chutz La'aretz, but it bothers me because one of my dreams is that to be able to go, take the car and take a nice drive through Syria and through Iraq and Jordan and see where the Talmud Bavli was created and be able to see the cars. So now is not a good time to do it. but when Mashiach comes, right? So that'd be a good time to do it. That's the only time we're going to be able to do it, probably. But then you're not allowed to go to Chutz La'aretz. So now we're stuck. You're not allowed to go to Chutz La'aretz. Have a halacha. So finally you're going to be able to do it. Won't be able to do it. So I was declaring, I don't know if this is true or not, I'm looking for a makar, that the Yisra of Yetziah Chutz La'aretz is only talking about until Mashiach comes. Because once Mashiach is here, the Shekhinah is everything. The whole idea is not allowed to leave. Makom Kadosh, Mailim B'Kodesh V'Loi Marin. But if the whole world has that Shekhinah, Kol Haaretz. So once it's Kol Haaretz, so let me go to Syria and check it out. Wouldn't it be Gavaldic? The KSY tour? Syria.
French shops also.
And you could drive for here to Eretz Yisrael. Yeah, but that's... you could drive. You get in the car. let's go to Pompadisa today. Let's go to Nardun. Like what a ruach that could be. That's unbelievable. So just take a look where Yecheskel was standing when he had the Nevuah. There's all this Kaimas HaKadoshim that we have no access to. So it could be, again, I'm just guessing the halacha, it could be that the Yetziel Chutz La'aretz is not such a big deal once everything becomes the Malkum of the Shechina. Not that Eretz Yisrael is not a big deal, but that Israel is not there. I'll call upon him. The whole point is Mincha. So we're being Moiridas HaTiferes Ala Malchus. And that's the way to start the night. You have that with you. Remember, this is the Lashon of the Tomer Devorah, the second time he's using it. Kosher atzmai ba. What's the ba? With the Shechina. So here what's going on in Mincha is we're being kosher as atzmai lamata. We're anchoring ourselves lamata and bringing it down. Now, I want to explain the following, which I think is so fundamental, very fundamental. The Gemara says, Brachas Davav. Rabbi Chelbai, Lo'elam Yizayar Adam B'Tfilas HaMincha. You should be particularly careful with Mincha, davening Mincha, having Kavanah Mincha. Shaharei Eliyahu Hanavi Lo'inena Elo B'Tfilas HaMincha. He was only Nena B'Tfilas HaMincha. By the way, Pshat in the Gemara, we don't see in the Tanakh anywhere that he davened Shachris and he wasn't Nena. Still made daven Shachris. We don't find that. Daven Shachris, that didn't work. Daven Marv last night, that didn't work. Let's try Mincha. Mincha work. That's not the Pshat. What we find is that, of course, he daven Marv, he daven Shachris. But he knew Mincha was his time. He knew this is the time. Remember what was going on. He had the Nevi'ei Abal. There was a koach there of thousands of people that were saying that the derech is Avodah Zarah. And Klal Yisrael was moving after them. The derech is Avodah Zarah. Eliyahu Navi is the lone ranger, the Avram Avinu of his time, which is standing on Har Carmel, and he's saying, Hashem hu Elokim. And somehow he has to demonstrate and prove the point. This is the one time in history he has to prove the point miraculously. Hashem hu Elokim. It's not such a unusual thing because every Navi has to prove his point. He has to do a Monsey my face before he says a Nevuah. But this was big. This was everything was hinging right now on Har Carmel up in Haifa of Eliyahu Navi. Saying Hashem hu Elokim, trust me on this one, and they didn't. There was the Nevi'ei Abal. He chose in his Ruach HaKodesh, he chose Mincha to be the right time to do this. So the Gemara says, Lo'elam Yizayar Adam B'Tfilas HaMincha, Shaharei Eliyahu Hanavi Loi Nahane Elo B'Tfilas HaMincha. Shenemar Vayihi Ba'alois HaMincha. He actually brought a korban mincha, right? Ba'alois HaMincha, Vayigash Eliyahu Hanavi Vayoymar, Aneni Hashem Aneni. That's when he davened, Aneni Hashem Aneni. As the Gemara teaches it, Aneni Sheterid Eish Min HaShamayim. Make a miracle happen, that an Eish should come down Min HaShamayim. Ve'aneni Shlo Yoymru Maisik Shofim. And grant me another one, Hashem, that when I do this miracle, which he had perfect confidence that he would be able to do, I don't want them saying, oh, he's one of us. He's a machashev. So, what was his story over here? In other words, what's the point of the miracle if they could say there was a machashik. And why would they say that it's a machashik? Why would they say it's a Ma'aseh Kishuv? It's like Paro, like Moshe came to Paro, he did miracles, we could do them also. Ma'aseh Shofim. So it takes a little bit of the luster out of the whole story. So the pshat is, the Rashba here says, just read you exact lashon here. That what's important to understand about all this is that besides for Mincha time being the Zman that Hashem answers us, it's also the perfect time to do a little kishuv. It's a Zman of Kshafa. It's a pella, a terrible coincidence. Exactly the time when Elio felt that he could pull off the Nes, Mincha, I'm focused on Mincha, was exactly the time that the Nevi'ei Abal were able to do Kishuv. And Kishuv is a real thing. So he had to, Ad Kedei Kach, he had to daven that Aneni Hashem, that I should be Zocha with this miracle. Shetei Radesh Min HaShamayim. Aneni, Shelo Yomer Ma'aseh Shavim. Oh, here we go, Mincha. He's able to do this. Why would Mincha be a Zman Kishuv if it's a Zman of Kedusha? And the answer is this. Let's backtrack a little bit. I think this is just like important even today. This is not Hilchas of the Mashiach, Hilchas of the Yisoid. That the Aruch HaShulchan, at the beginning it feels a mincha, he brings this Gemara. And he says, what seems to be Balavatish, he says that Elio told us the mincha is the most important tefillah. You know why? Says the Aruch HaShulchan, because Shachris, you get up out of your bed, your head is, getting clear. You're obviously you're going to be, if you're a believer, you turn first to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give me a great day. Ma'ariv, you're about to go to sleep, and you say Hashem, Baruch Hashem for the day. This is the day. V'shachveinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukach. Mincha is up mitten during it. Busy. So says the Aruch HaShulchan. By the way, I found this exact same thing. It's not necessarily I found in the Maral, the Maral, that the pshat, the gadlus of tefillas mincha, not to take away from the Aruch HaShulchan, but if it's in the Maral, it means it's even deeper. The zman of tefillas mincha is important, and then because it's busy time. Now, kosher lahavin, I mean, what's the pshat? Like, what was Eliyahu doing in the morning? Shining shoes for the Nevi'ei Abal. What was he doing? Busy. In the stock market, what was he doing? That he was so busy in the afternoon that's why he was nen. The Omek Hadavar, and why the Aruch HaShulchan is so simple yet so right and so deep in the Maral, is that afternoon you're busy, so Hashem answers your tefillas. Busy with what? What are we busy with? We're busy with Gashmius. What? Yeah, pragmatia. Business. Whatever you're doing, it's business in the middle of the workday. All kinds of halachas. How long you're allowed to even spend a mincha. It's, you're up on the tree. Should I dam mincha? Not dam mincha. Mincha is one of my, I'm osek roishe v'rubai in olam hazeh. Which, by the way, is not discouraged at all. Except for in the last half a century. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be oisik in your parnosa. That's the time. It's a time of gashmius. Mincha is a time of gashmius. Understand this, that when the sun is coming up, that's a time of ruchnius. When the sun is going down, That's a time of Gashmius. It's a time of Din. It's a time of Teva. Ho-Elokim b'gematria Teva. Elokim b'gematria ha-Teva. Elokim is the name of Teva, the name of Gashmius. Bereshis bara Elokim es ha-Shamayim v'es-haaretz. The whole, it's such an unbelievable time. Because here's the time when we're not at a holy time mitzad atzmo from Shemayim Shacharis. It's a time that's not holy, that we have to make it holy. It's a time where we're in the middle of business. Business, Teva, that's Teva, and also Lismoich Halanas, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And Din, it's all the same thing. Din means the world has a din. Laws of nature. The laws of nature are such that what goes up must come down. This is the way Hashem created Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'es-haaretz. They're good laws. They're good laws. They're not bad laws. I always say, can you imagine taking a relaxing walk in the park, and all of a sudden the water, instead of going down, is going up, and you throw a snowball into the air and it keeps going. I mean, it would be chaos. There would be nothing relaxing about a chaotic, if you're Alice in Wonderland, there's nothing relaxing about it. It's chaotic. What's relaxing about it is there's a teva. There's something you can depend on. So when we're talking about din, that's the din of the world we're talking about. Part of the din of the world is the zman avoda, the zman malacha, zman parnasa. That's what's going on. If you look at the whole Seder Advarim of the Tomer Devorah and the Tzadikim, they're spending the morning in Ruchnias. I'm davening, I'm learning, I'm eating even, and I'm getting it. But the afternoon, go to work. This is the time, afternoon Seder. This is the time to do parnasa. Why? Because that's Mincha. So what we need to understand, and this is the omek of this Gemara, is that Eliyahu Hanavi knew that in order to counteract the Nevi'ei Habal, it's not going to be just Shetavei Eish Min HaShamayim. That's not going to do it. It's going to be something which is during the time of Teva. What Eliyahu Hanavi had to demonstrate is that with my God, I could actually bring him into this world and make this world into a different world. Oh, that's Kishuv. Very, very close. Because Kishuv, if you're involved in Avodah Zarah is, forget about that, we know how to work the Teva. Avodah Zarah, Avodas Kechavim, Avodas Alilim, Nevi'ei Habal. All of these things were that we are able to work the stars, we're able to manipulate the Gashmias. That's what Avodah Zarah is. It wasn't just stam shtus. What Avram Avinu came to was, okay, but you're worshiping the sun, but who made the sun? Yafeh. The question that the Nevi'ei Habal had is tachlis. Is it helping us or is it not helping us? We look together. The Chaim Volozhin brings the Nashim, the time of Yeshayahu. Remember, the Nashim, the time of Yeshayahu. As Yeshayahu said, leave the Avodah Zarah. You're going to have a Chorban Beis HaMikdash if you have Avodah Zarah. And the Nashim came and they said, no way. Last time we left Avodah Zarah, the fields didn't grow, the crops didn't produce, the food wasn't any good. Nothing was, the pears weren't sweet. We're not going to do this again. We're not going to fall for this thing. What are they saying? That they were worshiping the Gashmias, where Eliyahu Hanavi was being Mekadesh the Gashmias and bringing the Ruchnis into the Gashmias. Moirid Shechina Lamata, Moirid, as the Tomer Devorah puts it, Moirid is Hatziferes Lamata. Almidas HaYesod, Almidas HaMalchus. So it's ironic, but so true, that the time that Eliyahu would be Nana is the time of Mincha, which is Dafka, the time of Kishuv. Because this is their time. Okay, we're in Heavy Gashmi's time now.
Is that the time of the Akedah also?
Time of the Akedah was for sure Mincha. Vayash came out from Baboiker, the Chachris. Abashachris guy.
ביום השלישי.
Hmm?
זה ביום השישי.
By the way, there were Hasidim. Today, there's no real Hasidim that are really like, so controversial any longer. But the Hasidim would be makbid to do a bris 10 minutes before Shkia. Yaacov Haber about Biker Beseder, he was going to the bris. He was going to the bris. You have to start making achunas. It takes time. But the fighting over who gets to do the thing later, and then they went even till Rabbeinu Tam at night. Today, even today, there's brism at night in the Litvish world. Crazy thing is this. So I'm not getting involved with that. But what I'm saying is that somehow here in Eretz Yisrael they decided brism should be a lunch. But I ask you about yeah, but the nakuda, their nakuda was that you're going from mincha. You're going. Look, what's a bris? A bris, a keda. This is all taking the gashmius and infusing it with ruchnius, just like we did with the bracha and with achila. That's what and the best time to do this is when business is at its best and when kishuf is at its best. Because all of those things are the ultimate din and the ultimate gashmius. Do you understand how important this yesod is? It's ironic, but it's so clear. So here's Cain. Cain decides, I've got to bring a carbon mincha. By the way, what's a mincha? This is all plant, like no animals involved,
Something that man had to work and turn into.
Right. So Cain was really right. Bring a carbon mincha. I'm going down to the lowest. Geographically, physically lowest place. Chitim the Sa'irim, the Michael Behema. Sa'irim is Michael Behema. And I'm going to go and infuse that. That's ultimate malchus. Hevel saw, heavy gam hu. May Bukharis sire, may Bukharis sign up. It wasn't on the same madrega. So I was killed, but as far as I says that it wasn't the same madrega as the Cain was wrong for being jealous of it. And Hashem watched his carbon because we're not holding abrasions, I'm holding shmais. But the nakuda is that what was all this mincha about? What was it all about? It was about Hashem. He created the world. We're a few days into this, and now it's time to try to get back the Gan Eden, which we just lost. And the way to do that, they understood, the way to make that tikkun is to infuse the world of Gashmias with the world of Ruchnias. That's what a carbon mincha is. That's all Masechta Menachos. And you do it, you have to do kamitza. It's all about Monsey Adayim, as you say. Kamitza. You can't use like kamitza, you can't even use a spoon for that. Like Monsey Adayim. It's the minchas ani. It's the lowest and lowliest, inexpensive, pashut carbon. And that's what they brought. Why? Because this was their tachlis. Their tachlis was to try to make the tikkun that Adam Arishan and Chava messed on and bring the Shekhinah into this world. So typical of, two Jews davening in one room. One starts to kill the other. What do you bring the Shekhinah? I'll bring the Shekhinah. What's that like? They start to fight. How interesting is that? Right? Start to fight. It's one of the things that happen when you're being married to the Shekhinah. Like the Arizal says that Tizarem Ishtecha b'yom erev Shabbos says man mesugel to machleikus. The kedusha is so intense, and mamish the kedusha of erev Shabbos is the kedusha of cholent and knedelach and gefilte fish. That's it's a carbon mincha. Carbon mincha is a zman of machleikus. Go to shul, learn. Don't get involved in it. You watch, put a little more pepper. And I really like it. It's late. It's not besugel l'machleikus. Yeah, just shut up.
When we say the tablecloth solve that problem?
Yeah, it helps because you're. But nothing really helps. Just be quiet. See?
So what do we call Mincha then? Because obviously Mincha is Metrogedola Katana, which is like is there.
Starts.
The silence goes all the way through.
Goes all the way through. Look what's happening. It gets more and more gashmi until it turns ruchani.
What's the shresh of the word Mincha? Menucha?
Noch.
Menucha, right? Like Menucha to be
No.
resting?
No. The world is happening. Let's get a little further. The important thing. The word mincha. Aniach. Let the world work. Kim in hagri.
I leave it.
Look at the unbelievable diuk that Yaakov Avinu is going to meet Esav. Vayishtachu sheva pamim artso. He's going through Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam. The Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam is Yaakov Avinu coming from his very, very high place, from his Shem Ve'ever, from his whatever he kedusha that he had, and his battle is the same battle as Eliyahu Navi with the Nevi'ei Abal. His battle with Esav is the same thing. That mincha hishlucha adoni le'esav. Doesn't this? I mean, it's mind-boggling. You understand why Yitzchak wanted to give Esav the bracha? You're b'shetach. You're b'shetach. I asked a very chashuv Rav yesterday. What do you think of the kashrus of? I don't want to get into it right now. I'm listening to this hashgacha. So he says to me, this is a guy in the know. He says to me, he said the problem with this kashrus is that the very, very chashuv rabbanim. Okay, that doesn't sound like such a problem. And they have meetings and they come up with very, very chashuv policies, and they're very machmir and they're very careful, and it's really wonderful. But b'shetach, it doesn't happen. Nobody's out there watching to make sure that they're doing X, Y, Z with the carrots. Like it's so like we're talking about b'shetach. So Avram Avinu was partial to Yishmael because Yishmael was b'shetach. Rov Keshes. Yishmael was out there, para Adam. And Yitzchak was partial to Esav because he's out there. Go out there, go hunting, bring me stuff. Mincha. So Yaakov Avinu wasn't there on the top list for Yitzchak, and the reason he wasn't there, just like Yitzchak wasn't there in his father's Avram's list. It's only Sarah and Rivka that were able to see something different, see through maybe that. Yes, there's such a fine line between Esav and Eliyahu Navi. It's such a fine line. I would imagine that if we would actually see the Nevi'ei Habal at work, the real ones, I don't know that we'd be able to resist the fact that, well, I mean, this is real. I mean, these guys, seances and the Avodah Zarah, and I'll even look at Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah is very powerful. When Avram Avinu was my Rabbi Yaacov Haber was always described like what he used to see in India. He grew up in India, in Bombay. It was very powerful stuff. It's powerful stuff because Avodah Zarah is using everything which is Tachas Hashemesh, and figuring out that's what Avodah Zarah is. I'm trying to figure out how to use the different kochos that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put into the Bria and to manipulate them. It was Avram Avinu and Yitzchak and Yaakov that said, I can get it from here. So Yaakov comes to Esav and he says, Mincha yishlucha, I'm on your level. Vayishtachavu sheva pamim artz. I'll meet you on the ground. Ani itcha b'shetach. That's what was going on. I'll meet you b'shetach. That's where we're going to have. And Yaakov was petrified of the shetach.
Coming down to your level.
Yeah, we're petrified. Who wants to be there? I'd be petrified. You'd be petrified. This is the how do you win a fight in the mud without getting dirty? But the mud is where it's at. That's where the Tiferes comes through Yesod. It comes from Malchus. Yosef haya b'Mitzrayim. The Yaakov saw with Yosef and Ephraim and Manasseh. What he saw gave him a special bracha. What he saw was b'Mitzrayim, where we're getting there, we're permeating. And not only that, it wasn't even finished there. It had to go through another Memtesh Sharei Tumah. How low can you go?
Especially the Iker Avodah, the whole Tabin you have to be in the mud. Like
Mamish in the mud.
It's right there.
Memtesh Sharei Tumah wasn't good enough. Yosef Hadim Mitzrayim. You're still a Rayet sign. We want to see go all the way down, almost lose it, but still Leishinu Eshmam, Leishinu Es L'Shanim Leishim. They still had a Munana Kadosh Baruch Hu, and that's when you're going to get the Torah. The first step in the real tikkun. So why torture us like this? And the answer is because there's no purpose in the world if the Shekhinah's here. Kol don't we say this in the Haggadah that Kol, every place that what's the lashon there? Every place that Klal Yisrael was Yarad, Hashchina Yarad Imayim.
That's right.
What?
Sounds familiar. I don't know where from.
Shechina Yarad Imayim. Vayered, that's the. So what the new Havana here is that Eliyahu Hanavi, the new Havana is all this is to say the Aruch HaShulchan is Me'ach is right, because the Aruch HaShulchan is saying that when you're busy, that means you're in time of din, because din is when the oilam is going kimin hagli, and when you're busy, that means you're in the time of here's your chance. You're mamish in the world of Gashmias. You're not sitting in a koil. I'm bashatach. I'm bashatach. This is where you're meeting the Asavs of the world also, and this is where you're meeting the Nevi'ei Habal of the world. It's Dafka with Midas Hadin. This is where Cain and Hevel have a fight. Listen to this fight. It's just so amazing. Yaakov and Esav fight. It's all the same. David HaMelech, by the way, it's Shmuel Beis talks about Gefa, and David HaMelech Zman HaMincha. It says before in Shmuel Beis, Zman HaMincha David HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and V'hitzil Zal Minam HaGefa. The way to be Masak in the Gashmias is B'Shorish Hadavar. So you have to meet it at the root. You have to get to the root problem. And that's the pshat in Tefillas Mincha. So says the Tomer Devorah with this one. Achashal l'shas ha-mincha, v'nikshar b'gevurah, himtin la'erev, v'yarad ha-tiferes al ha-malchus. What's going on now, today when we daven mincha, is we're infusing our business life. It's such I don't hold it against anybody. I like it actually, but you see, mincha is like a different time around here. You daven mincha here at 1:30. It's a different time. Like people are running out, getting a phone call in the middle of mincha. You don't see it's shachar so much. Myers even so much. Email like, okay, we need to resist those Yetzaharas and know what we're doing. But the reason why it's such it's such a busy time. A doctor was telling me, an emergency room doctor, he said to me that, he says during the day is much busier than during the night, so people don't get sick during the night so much. It's busy, tired. I don't know, my wife always gave birth in the middle of the night. I don't know. But the Nakuda of Mincha is a Nakuda of Gashmias, the Nakuda time of Din, the time of business, the time of Esav, the time of Kayin. This is the time of Korban Mincha, where you're taking Sa'orim and Chitim and Kemach, Soilas, and you're bringing a Mincha Sa'ani HaKadosh Baruch Hu, swooping down from the lowest level and bringing it up. The Yared HaTiferes HaLamalchus. Now you're coming into a new day, Soif Mincha, Harei Hu Ima, B'tchilas HaLayla, Kosher Atzmei Ba. The Shekhinah is with me by Mincha. I brought the Shekhinah into my life, into my world, into my Parnasa. But I don't want to leave without saying the most obvious and practical thing. Eliyahu was accomplishing the same things in the Nevi'ei Habal. They were also bringing Eish. But he was bringing it Minas Shamayim. What we're doing is, we're saying, I'm making parnasa, but the parnasa is coming min hashamayim. Do you know the difference between parnasa coming min hashamayim? So we say in benching, we're davening for this. Kim liyadcha, hamleya, psucha, kedosha, chava. We want our parnasa to come biyadcha, hamleya, psucha, kedosha. Now, there's other ways to get parnasa. But I want it miyadcha, hamleya, psucha. I want it from this guy. I want it to come like Eliyahu's Eish came in Hashemayim. Ve'aneni Hashem, it should come in Hashemayim. Ve'aneni, that nobody should say it was just Teva. Well, the reason why he's Matzliach is because he's an Esavnik, or a Nevi'e Abalnik. Mm-hmm. The Hatzlacha should come because I have hooked myself up to the Shemayim. And it becomes so pure, and it becomes so healthy. And there's such bracha, by the way, in that money. By davening mincha, by infusing the business that we're doing with kedusha, there's bracha in that money. You don't lose it; it doesn't. It goes to the right place. That's what we're davening for. That money goes. That money lasts. Even taking a parnasa from a tzedakah from somebody who's not hagun is taking it from the sitra achra. It's hard to resist the urge. Somebody's giving $1 million. No even avodah zarah. It's hard to resist the urge. I don't. To ask a big posek before. But the point is that that it's coming from theoretically, as long as it's theoretical, we can talk about it. The theory of it is that it's coming from the wrong place. It's Nevi'e Abba. But we're right there in the shetach with them. We're right there in the aretz. So the trick is to be mamish, down to earth. Tiferes ba, listen to these words, underlineable. Tiferes ba lebeis milona. You have just now brought Tiferes into the malon, into the hotel room, the achsanya of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You've just given the Shekhinah a place to rest. What's a malon? A malon is a place to rest. You're giving the Shekhinah a place to rest. Its feet. The Raglei HaShekhinah, we learned about it a few weeks ago, are wanting to touch ground. Give me a landing spot. Can I land now? No. Circle. Mevartev Mashiach. Circle. Can I land now? No. It has to be. Security threat. Okay, and then we finish the last two paragraphs. Make a scene.
Rabbi Nachman says that when you're down, Hashem is here. When you're up, Hashem is there.
Okay.
I thought